morning to you. We sure hope that you had a great weekend. We're now happy to share some time together as we kick off another week here on Virginia This Morning. Andreas White-Murdoch joins me today. I am Amy Lacey. Good morning, Andreas.
Good morning, Amy, and good morning to all of you. It's another show featuring the A-Team. Yeah. And I'm always happy to be here with you.
Likewise.
And especially during the holiday season.
Yeah, it's a great time of year.
Speaking of, this last weekend was the last weekend before the Christmas holiday.
Yeah, and if you were in short pump over the weekend, you knew that because thank goodness being, you know, a local here a long time, you can kind of traverse the back roads to get around. But it was jam-packed, and I told my boyfriend as we were driving, I said, you know what? Every single one of these cars out here, they are in the holiday rush right now. But we were just out browsing and picked up a couple of things, but man, oh man, it's a busy time of year.
Oh yeah, I will admit, I sat down. I hadn't done any shopping as of Friday afternoon, and that's just the way I roll. I'm sorry. And so I spent some time on the couch with the Christmas tree on, you know, doing some online shopping. But today is my local shopping day. So I plan on hitting a few places in Richmond, picking up those local things that are just too spectacular to pass up on. So
I kind of did the opposite. I feel like I shop throughout the year. I feel like you don't have to wait until Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa to buy someone something that you want. So I pick up things when I go on trips here and there, but I think today's the day I'll be doing some last minute online shopping just to kind of fill the stockings a little bit.
All right, well, we've got things on our list. I'm sure many of you do too.
Yeah, it is the start of the Christmas holiday week. Be sure to focus on the gifts that won't wear out or change. I like that idea.
That's a great idea.
That's the topic today as we continue our Motivational Monday series with award-winning author Stacey Hawkins Adams. Stacey will lead our conversation in less than 10 minutes. That sounds like a gift that's free as well.
And a message that we all need. Well, Chef Ty Hall makes a return to the Virginia This Morning kitchen. She's putting together one of her great-grandmother's recipes. Get ready for this tasty recipe featuring smothered okra with sausage and shrimp over buttered rice. What? It sounds so delicious, and we can't wait to dig in.
And we have some great music coming up, too. Tony Craddock Jr. is a popular musical artist that regularly performs in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, sharing his blended signature sounds of contemporary jazz, gospel, and soul to create uplifting melodies. He oftentimes performs with his band Cold Front and as a solo artist. We wanted him to share a holiday song with us, and he happily obliged. We'll enjoy the entire song in just a few minutes, but first, here is a quick preview. That does not get you in the holiday spirit. I do not know what will. And then, of course, there's Tom, too, to get us in the holiday spirit.
He always puts me in the holiday spirit.
Always, Tom.
Thank you, ladies. So kind of you. A little smooth jazz, and hopefully that would warm things up a little bit out, but it didn't. So we'll see. We needed just a little smoother jazz, so let's see. Well, it's cold, right?
Yes.
It's cold. We know it.
I wasn't prepared.
My car was not happy with me this morning.
No. My car did things I've never seen it do this morning, to be honest with you. Really.
I was like, please let me stay in the garage.
Yeah. Even the screen, you know, the backup screen and the touch, you know, that was like, I'm done. I'm not working. I'm not working right now.
I can't work under these conditions. Yes, under these conditions.
Time to get under the covers.
That's right. So a great day for that, but at least it's bright and sunny, and that we have that going for us, so that may put you in a better mood today. The Diamond, nothing but blue sky out in that direction. Looks beautiful, 26 degrees only. Our official low this morning was 20, but we had some 13s. I think Farmville, Chester, all dropped to 13 degrees this morning. It was 11 back in the valley, so lots of teens this morning. In fact, the airport may have been the only spot at 20. I think everybody else was in the teens. All right, well, the barometer has come up even more since this morning. I was talking about how high that barometer is, and that is extremely high. 30.67 is true Arctic, cold, dense, very dry air. So the dew point is low, so it's a very dry day. If you have dry air, if it gives you issues, some folks get asthma, some folks just get dry skin, runny noses. Today is that day. If you have any kind of humidifying element in your house to humidify, do so. Sometimes I'll just take a spray bottle and hit the air vents when the heat's on, just to get some of that vapor in the air a little bit, just to make it a little quicker. Anyway, there you go. There are your numbers now. Everybody's at least in the 20s at this point. About 40 today. Cold sunshine, we'll call it. Dry sunshine as well. And tonight we'll drop to about 24. Partly cloudy skies. I think that'll keep our temperatures elevated a little bit more than what we had this morning, but still quite cold. Clear skies, a few clouds to our west. We'll see some of that later on. A little lake effect snow, but there's high pressure. And if we're at 30.67 inches of mercury, right beneath that high has got to be cranking about 30.8 or something, because that's very high pressure, and we're even a little farther away from it. All right, it's cold though. That's the ticket here. A few clouds later today, mostly thin clouds, and a few more clouds overnight tonight. A little energy to the south. May kick up just a little light freezing rain for some of our far southeastern viewers, maybe around Greensville or Sussex by early tomorrow morning. But outside of that, we'll have a lot of clouds around that'll kind of clear out a little bit. So tomorrow will become partly sunny. Christmas Day looks to be at least partial sun with a lot of clouds and a high of about 48. Sun sets at 4:57. I think Hanukkah starts Wednesday, so there you go. 40 Thursday, 51 Friday, maybe a few showers this coming weekend. Highs will be into the mid-50s. It looks like we'll get cold again around January 2 or 3, somewhere in there. All right, that's it. Virginia This Morning. We'll be back right after this.
Happy Monday to you. It is December 23rd. It is after 9 o'clock, and that means you tuned in at the right time for the area's only live local talk and entertainment show, Virginia This Morning. I'm Amy Lacey with Andreas White Murdoch today. Hey, Andreas, we are making it to the finish line of the holiday season.
I tell you, it's coming a little bit faster than I expected it
really
to,
is.
but here we are, having fun all the way to.
Yes,
We're crashing in the most whimsical ways at this point.
We are still smiling, so that in itself means that we're making it through.
That's right, and today's full of girl power, and we're so excited about that, Amy. It's the most wonderful time of the year, and I'm happy to be here with you.
Yeah, we are keeping the smile on our faces, maybe adding some cheer to some folks out there. We hope that we are, because it's a little bit of a stressful time of year for a lot of people. So, you know, you have to make your list. You have to cross off some things here and there and just get through it. But at the end of the day, as long as you keep that smile on your face, you're going to be just fine.
The joy of the season is here.
Yes,
you just got to find it.
Sometimes
you got to
do.
dig a little deeper sometimes. But we found it this morning.
We did find it this morning, and now we're going to share it with you. It's a time to recap of what is coming up here on today's show. We do have a lot going on today, including award-winning author and writing coach Stacey Hawkins Adams. She's here as part of our Motivational Monday series. She has another thought-provoking topic to share when we connect with her in just a few minutes. The gift that keeps on giving. That's what Stacey offers us each time she's here.
Yes. Well, she always comes to our live show with great recipes, and today is no different. Chef Ty Hall is back. Today she pays homage to her great-grandmother and features one of her signature dishes, and I can smell every ingredient right now. Smothered okra with sausage and shrimp over buttered rice. That's still to come on our live show.
And she's bringing the cheer today with her outfit today. We absolutely love it. Go, girl. And we will enjoy the smooth sounds of Tony Craddock Jr. when he performs a holiday song for us. We'll have that for you in just a few minutes.
All right, Amy. There's no food holiday today, but
what?
There are
There's
some
a
fun
food
facts.
holiday every day.
I thought so too, but anywho, there's some fun facts about December 23rd. It is the 358th day of the year.
Okay, we've gone through a lot of days so far
That's
this
right.
year.
Who's counting? And it's the 52nd Monday.
Okay.
Okay. There are 8 days left.
That's it?
In 2024.
What?
It's the 3rd day of winter, and we are officially in Capricorn season.
Happy birthday, Capricorn.
The birthdays for this day are turquoise and blue topaz.
Oh, pretty.
Yes, and while we're talking about birthstones and birthdays, we've got some birthday shout outs to give.
Yeah, we want to give a happy birthday shout out to Luke Porter. Woo! He's one of our show producers, and you don't see him in front of the camera, at least very often, but he makes it happen each and every day, and we're so appreciative of that.
That's right. We love you, Luke. Thank you so much for all you do. We hope you have the most amazing happy birthday. And Mr. B and our senior creative services producer, Stacy Sacra, celebrated their birthdays just yesterday.
We have so many birthdays around here, and we have a lot of fun with it too. On Friday, we posted on social media, we had our team holiday gathering, and it was a nice way to just sit down with everyone, and we observed some birthdays too, so it was a great way to come together and be a family.
That's right. We don't just love the holidays, we love the birthdays in the holidays, and we just one up every time.
And we love each other too.
Speaking of one and up, we're going to be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. In this season of gift giving, it's also important to focus on the gifts that won't wear out and won't change.
This is the perfect topic during this holiday week. Award-winning author and writer Stacey Hawkins Adams shares her insights. It is great to have you here, Stacey. Welcome again to Virginia this morning.
It's always, thank you.
It is such a great topic to talk about because there is so much pressure to find maybe the perfect gift, but you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect, it just has to be meaningful.
Right, and heartfelt. And you know, we often are like, we are all dashing to get those last minute gifts in. I know I've got a few stops to make today. I heard you all talking about that earlier. But really, I want us to think about those internal gifts too, like the gifts that will last beyond December 25th, well into the new year. And the first one to think about is compassion.
Yeah.
So we talk a lot about kindness, we talk a lot about understanding that everybody has a story, but compassion is actually really pausing to lean into that. Like, what will your guests be showing up with? What are you presenting with? Because it's compassion for yourself as well. So start with compassion. Think about telling the truth in love, because there will be those truth-telling moments, whether you play truth or dare or not. And then also sometimes silence. So the gifts of compassion, truth and love, and then silence.
Absolutely, and that's so important as you think about, I love the way you mentioned what your guests show up with, sometimes what they show up without, right? Or if you are that guest walking into a certain scenario, I always talk about leading with grace, being graceful in the way that you receive people and the way that you respond to people. It's very important, especially in the high stress times of this year.
Yes, yes. And I think sometimes in thinking about leading with the grace, it's just like, what will the conversations be like? What are the kind things you can say? What are the meaningful things? What are the gifts that you can give through words? Maybe it's thanking someone that you've never thanked before. Maybe, again, sometimes it's the silence. Maybe it's holding the thought that you might normally share. Or if you have to speak the truth, and when I mentioned speaking it in love, maybe you do need to be said. Maybe something needs to be said, but how you say it can also indicate how people receive it, and how people receive it is where the gift can be.
And it can also just be something as simple as letting somebody know that you're thinking of them, because I saw a very interesting conversation on my Facebook feed over the weekend about, do you send a holiday card to folks who you see all the time, or do you do it with those folks who you just want to say, hey, I'm thinking of you? And there was a little bit of a mix, and I think that's so important.
Right, right. And also think about the folks that you invite who never come. They sometimes still just need to be invited. Often people may not have the capacity to show up. They may not have the gifts to give for whatever reason, but that doesn't mean that they want to be left off of your list. So just invite the folks sometimes, because sometimes that is just as meaningful as sending a card.
And sometimes those people who don't have the capacity to attend, or maybe even RSVP and let you know, they might be dealing with some grief, some things where they also need compassion and love. And maybe that's just a text message to say, hey, I'm thinking about you. I know this is a tough season. What recommendations do you have for people who might be helping to support loved ones who this time of year might not be the happiest?
Yes, and I think, you all know from our previous conversation, I've lost some close loved ones this year. So going through that season of grief, yesterday, I have a friend, she just reaches out every so often, especially in December, for me to just say, hey, thinking of you if you need a phone call. And yesterday I was like, hey, are you still available for a phone call? We talked for 20 minutes. We didn't even really talk about the loved one that I lost, but just being able to have a conversation with her about what she'd watched on Netflix over the weekend, what her shopping was like, it just kind of lifted my spirits to just have that few moments with her. So I would say just lean into reaching out. A lot of times people are uncomfortable with grief and they don't know how to speak to someone that they feel like has lost something. They don't want to say the wrong thing or make that person cry. And often the person who's grieving actually just wants you to acknowledge that, yes, I remember so-and-so as well. That was a beautiful person. I know you're probably thinking about them. Do you need a hug? So just kind of lean into being present. And that's also part of the compassion. Again, the person may show up for the meal or may show up for the games or whatever festivities, and they may want to sit in the corner and just be quiet and be okay with that. Don't try to pull them into something they're not ready for, but just being in your presence can often be very healing.
Yes. It isn't always about the retail this
Exactly.
time of year. It's about being present. It's about caring. It's about just reaching out, extending that hand to someone.
Right. It's being love in action.
Yeah, I love that. Love in action. That's really beautiful.
Yeah, and this time of year, you really have to find other ways. You know, the gift giving, I have said, is not my favorite part of the season. My favorite part is really getting a chance to see those people, maybe those you haven't seen all year long, and to really celebrate in different ways. Celebrate your friendship, your love, celebrate the season at large, but not necessarily worrying about the gifts.
Not worrying about the gifts, because the gifts are nice mementos, nice reminders if you've got little kids. Fun toys, but even now my children in their young adulthood, when they think back on the Christmases, they think about the fun games with their cousins, the hugs from their grandparents, the meals that we made together, not necessarily even their favorite toys of the season.
It's not the stuff, it's the experiences always, and those that we surround ourselves with.
Yeah.
Making memories. Thank you for making so many memories with us this year, and happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays.
We're looking forward to the continuing of our Motivational Monday series with you in 2025.
Stacy, of course, offers weekly Motivational Monday emails. If you're interested in subscribing, you can visit stacyhawkinsadams.com. That would also be a great gift to give someone. And stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Whether you're looking at a new career opportunity as an employee or looking to hire new talent as an employer, our friends at Robert Half have just released the State of U.S. Hiring Report. Our friend Linda Garib is the district president and shares those findings. Hi, Linda. So great to see you this morning, and you have some good news about what's ahead in 2025.
Good morning. Yeah, glad to be back, and we do have some good news going into 2025. 63% of hiring managers plan to add positions in the first half of the year, which is fantastic news entering the new year, and it's up nicely from where we ended this year. 52% plan to add roles, so that's an increase of 11% going into the new year.
So it could be new year, new me, new opportunity. So how can folks really stand out in this kind of an environment?
Yeah, I think for candidates that are looking to make a change or looking for opportunities, they want to think about a couple of things. They really want to take an assessment of what are they looking to do in the new year, what transferable skills do they have, how could they make themselves really appealing to prospective employers, and what are they doing to really enhance their skills and do more with things and capabilities such as AI, as well as specific certifications.
So you had some great news about the full-time positions, but also there are some contract opportunities out there too. That can sometimes be a foot in the door for places. There's going to be a rise in that too in 2025.
Yeah, 63% of employers anticipated using contract employees, especially since the economy is still recovering. Using contract employees is a great way for employers to add gradually to staff, really bring in some subject matter experts that can help keep their workflow going, or a lot of companies anticipate taking on additional or new projects next year, so contract employees can really help with those projects. And for employees, doing contract work is a great way, like you mentioned, to get your foot in the door with a company, experience different industries and different ways of doing things.
It seems like in past years too, recently, there has been more of that talk about talking with each other. Both the employer and the employee are both trying to attract the right vibe for them. How can both sides of the equation make 2025 be a solid year and really just create a great culture in the workplace?
Yeah, it's been an interesting dynamic in 2024, and I think as we go into 2025, for employers, they have to really think about what are they doing to really make their company attractive for employees. A lot of employees are looking for hybrid schedules right now versus being in the office all the time. In addition to that, it's really important for employees to continue to have that flexibility of what they do and when they do it. From the employee perspective, employees have to also really think about what are they bringing to the employer? Are they being a little bit more flexible? And are both parties communicating effectively with each other in terms of what they're looking for, so it's a win-win for everybody involved?
Now more than ever, it seems that balance is that word in this post-COVID world, that everyone wants to find that balance between professional and personal lives, and 2025 could be that year that more people make that the priority on both sides.
I think that certainly will be the case, and I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, right? Because a lot more employers want employees coming into the office more often, but with business confidence increasing, both parties have to be flexible and find that happy median.
Any other words of advice you have for 2025 for someone who is either looking for a job or for someone who is looking to hire?
Sure. I think if you're looking for a job, I always encourage people, make sure you're reaching out to your network. You let people know that you're looking and what you're looking for. Also, enhance your presence on professional networking sites like LinkedIn, so you're really playing to your strengths and what you're bringing to the table. And from an employer perspective, yeah, right now I tell employers, you have to move fast. Employers closing out this year really slowed down the hiring process, and they gotta pick up the pace next year, or else they are going to lose good talent, especially with the shift from a hiring perspective that we're anticipating.
You mentioned LinkedIn too. I mean, it's important to have your profile and update it, because recruiters may be looking all the time and you may get that perfect opportunity just because you're there and you're visible.
Exactly. I mean, I will tell you, that's one of the primary places that we look at when we're looking to recruit individuals is LinkedIn. So it is really important to have your information updated, your information professional, to post updates in terms of what you have been doing professionally, so that's out there for the world to see.
Well, we love talking with you today. New year coming up, new opportunities maybe. Thank you, Lindo, for sharing your expertise and getting some folks on the right path to their employment next year.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
For more information, visit virginiathismorning.com. Andreas, you have a big announcement to make too.
A big announcement indeed. CBS 6 is proud to partner with the Virginia Lottery to help them celebrate their launch of the Bring Joy Holiday Scratcher campaign. Last week, we announced the first grand prize winner of a prize pack worth $200. Now, here's the name of the second and the final grand prize winner. Drum roll, please. Congratulations, Vonda Colton from Petersburg. And thank you to everyone who participated. Congratulations again. Everyone else, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our live Monday morning show. This next performer is an award-winning saxophonist who is known for his signature jazzy smooth grooves. The last time he was here, we asked him to tape a holiday-inspired song, and now we want to share it with you. Here's Tony Craddock Jr. with "O Little Town of Bethlehem." Once again, that's Tony Craddock Jr. with Oh Little Town of Bethlehem. Happy holidays, Tony. We look forward to seeing you next year. All right, Amy, what's cooking over there? Because I can smell.
Oh my goodness, it's
smell
like
it?
what isn't cooking over here, Andreas? It is such an exciting place to be this morning. I'm here with local caterer and chef Ty Hall. She is going to share her great-grandmother's recipe with us. It features okra, sausage, shrimp, and buttered rice, a little bit of everything. Yes. It's coming up, but first let's check in with our friends from the law firm of Winslow, McCurry, and McCormick PLLC.
This segment is sponsored by Winslow, McCurry, and McCormick.
Estate planning is critical in managing your assets and property. Today, Sarah McCurry, managing member at Winslow, McCurry, and McCormick, stopped by to share the steps to take after your estate plan has been put in place. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you so very much for having me.
After you take that first step of getting all of this put together, what's next?
So, it's wonderful for people to start thinking about this, putting the documents in place, and hopefully while they put that plan in place, they thought about the types of assets they had, and where and when and how they wanted those assets to transfer. The first thing that I tell my clients to do is to make sure that someone knows where you're putting your original documents. You don't want to do all this work and then something happens to you and no one can actually find the documents.
And then you do all of this work, you get your plan in place, but what you do doesn't necessarily have to stay exactly as is. Should you update over the years?
Yeah, I absolutely recommend that my clients make sure that they review the list of assets that they've included with their original documents every 3 to 5 years, because you want to avoid the most horrible scavenger hunt anybody would ever have to go on, right? Nobody wants to be hunting for assets when someone has passed away. I have had, unfortunately, people show up with boxes and boxes of just documents saying, I don't know what they have, I don't know what has sold, can you help me? And you want to avoid that, right? So making sure that you are putting a calendar reminder on your phone or on your work calendar, just saying every 3-5 years, let's look at what I have, let's make sure that my list that I've provided my fiduciaries is current.
And you had mentioned those original documents, having someone in your family or a close friend, someone who you trust, know where the original documents are. What about any printouts or any copies of those documents?
That's entirely up to the individual client. If they feel comfortable giving a copy to the named fiduciaries and the documents, their executor, their power of attorney, absolutely. That is, they can have an electronic copy, they can have an electronic database, just making sure that they have those originals, and then also any beneficiary designations that they have put in place, all together in a place that someone knows where they can go and get them.
And then, of course, letting someone know about it. But what about that security, that safety measure? Passwords, I would think that it's important for you, if it is a digital copy, that they know how to get to the copy.
Yes. Yeah. The most important item that anybody has right now to be able to access their digital assets is their cell phone. So I've had a number of clients over the years where someone's passed away and they don't know the code to get into the cell phone. So making sure that your fiduciaries know how to access your cell phone for 2-factor authentication, and then having a general list of passwords. If something happens to you, it may not be the most up-to-date list. So also including those common security question answers on a piece of paper with your original documents is advisable.
And you had mentioned your phone. Of course, that is a tool that we all use. I would think that it's also great to put a reminder for yourself to keep updating the plan over the years.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I've done for myself, is I have a reminder on my calendar every 3 years to just go double check, look at my documents. Are they still saying where I want my assets to go? Are they still reflecting it? Has something arisen in the past 3 years that I didn't address, right? Or I wasn't ready to address emotionally when I did them the first time. So just double checking, making sure the documents are still how you want them to be, and then also confirming those beneficiary designations every 3 to 5 years will lead a difficult process to be an easier process. It's never going to be easy, but we want to make it easier.
Such important information after we have that estate plan in place, what we do with it. Very important information. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Winslow, McCurry, and McCormick is located at 1324 Sycamore Square in Midlothian. For more information, call them at 804-423-1382 or visit the website wmmlegal.com. Stay with us. Virginia This Morning returns after the break.
Thanks for spending time with us here on our live show. We've been waiting for this tasty dish all morning long.
The smells, the sizzle, they've been calling our name. Chef Ty Hall is here paying tribute to one of her great-grandmother's signature recipes, and we are happy that she is here to make that for us today. Great to see you again, Chef. This is such a special recipe. You said today's Heritage Day, so that's why you decided that, hey, I'm going to pay homage to my great-grandmother.
So, like, in the past, I've come on and I've been side hit with it was National Potato Day or something. So I was like, I'm gonna do some research. And today is National Heritage Day, meaning get back to your roots or find a way where you can discover where you came from. So in honor of my great-grandmother who picked okra, right? So this was one of the things that we would always have around this holiday. Not necessarily around any other holiday, but she loved having stewed down okra.
Nice.
For the Christmas holiday. It was something that sat on our table. So today, none of this can be done quickly. These are dishes that took time. These are dishes that you have to put your love into.
Yeah.
So the rice, we just got finished cooking. And then this pot right here has the cooked down okra, stewed in spices.
Beautiful.
It has sausage in it. It has a little bit of shrimp. And you put them in at the very end.
Okay.
Right? You don't want them to become tough. So these right here, we're ready. But to show you, you brown the sausage, and you can use whichever one you want, right? Back then it was mostly pork, because that's what we were given. But today we have turkey sausage.
Yep.
Right, because it's a little bit healthier.
So this is turkey.
This is turkey sausage, yes. So we're going away from like the beef, and we went away from the pork, right? Just to show that you can use any kind of sausage, and still make this a dish that you'll enjoy. We seasoned up our shrimp. This pan is hot.
Now tell us about the seasoning on our shrimp.
So the shrimp have fresh minced garlic and a little bit of garlic powder, onion powder, and some, because I'm fancy, Turkish thyme.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Fancy.
And then it was something that I grew up with, and I couldn't find it like in this area, so I had to go out. But it's called savory.
Okay.
And it's actually not the taste, but it's a spice. It's a blend, right? And it's reminiscent of like marjoram and oregano.
That's beautiful.
So it has a really floral taste behind it, and that's what's going to wake up the tomatoes.
Yeah.
And it's going to cut into the acidity.
So you put that on the shrimp.
I put that on the shrimp.
Okay.
And then I mixed it with a little bit of olive oil because, you know, that's
need
the
a
right
little
order.
something,
Just
right?
a little something. And we're going to put them in there just like that.
And you were saying the key here is to make sure that we don't overcook them.
Overcook. So
Now, I've been told if they make a C, then they're cooked.
when it closes on itself and it's an O, it means overcooked.
Overcooked. That's a great hack to remember.
But with that, it sounds cute until you have one like that one. It looks already closed.
Right.
And we know it's completely raw. So it also is indicative of the size of your shrimp. So when you have smaller shrimp, you cannot necessarily go by that rule. You have to actually look at it. But rule of thumb is 2 minutes per side in a screaming hot pan.
Okay.
That's it. Because look, we're done.
Look at that. I mean, it looks.
We literally
it
just
already
put it
has
in.
that color on it.
Right, we just put it in. The key to it is your pan and the heat on your pan. And then you cannot have this dish without corn cakes.
I noticed that right away. They look so good.
So my great-grandmother would always take fresh grated corn and put in it when she could, right? So it wasn't always readily available, but we're done.
Love that. And I love because cooking with your family, with the women in your family, I know from past conversations, that's why you are here today.
Yes.
So what better way to honor those who made you who you are than by sharing recipes that they had and that you grew up with. What a beautiful, beautiful tribute.
And this way you get a chance to taste my heart, right?
Yeah.
Because that's basically what cooking is. Cooking in and of itself is being hospitable.
Yeah.
And it is something that even when you don't have much money, if you could bring someone in and give them a warm plate of food.
Yeah.
Food is that mediator that will take away every bad argument. It's what we go to when we're happy, when we're sad. So why not make something that is warm? Because it's cold outside.
Yeah.
It is very cold.
It's really cold outside, right? So this is a warming dish.
Now, speaking of this dish, we've put our sausage that you just browned and also our shrimp right in here, but you've got some other things cooking up in
We got
here.
some okra in here, and we got some good old-fashioned stewed down tomatoes.
Now, with your okra, how did you cut it? It looks like you've got some pretty sizable pieces in there.
Because you don't want them to break apart. When you're stewing down okra, it can melt into the dish.
Yeah.
So you want to have that bite. So you want to go between a quarter or a little bit over a quarter inch thick on each cut.
Okay.
So that way it doesn't dissolve into the pan and you're just left with what all looks like one dish. Right? So that's why we did the big cuts. Now I did cut my peppers and my onions a little bit smaller for contrast. And we have all the colors of Christmas. We have green, we have red, we got a little bit of orange, which could be the lights.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right? And then you have your meat. And of course, y'all,
Buttered
got this
rice, right?
buttered rice. Like, come
Gotta
on
love
now.
that.
And the rice is going to go down first, and then we're going to put this over top of it, and you get all that gravy. Because what really makes it smothered is the way that the tomatoes break down and make their own gravy surrounding the okra.
Now, we've also got some leaves in here, I think bay leaves.
Bay leaves, you got to put a bay leaf in there. Because if not, you don't get the flavor.
Okay.
Now, the bay leaf, excuse me for not speaking about it, but the bay leaf goes in right when the tomatoes and the okra come up to a boil.
Okay.
Because you want to be able to pull the flavor directly out of it and then fish around in here and take them out. Because you don't want to eat the bay leaf.
No, you don't want to eat
No.
the bay leaf, but man,
So you
oh
can
man, I'm looking
take
at
it out.
that gravy, and that in itself, oh, you have to have a little hunk of bread with that too.
And that's why we
Sop
got
that
the-
up.
that's why we
That's
got
the
the
corn
corn
cake.
cake.
All right, so
More.
tell us about the corn cakes. I have never made a corn cake before, so what is the key to success?
The key to success with my grandmother's corn cakes were actually not this way. She would do them in hot water.
Okay.
So she would make hot water cakes, right? Where you would take your cornmeal mix, put it in a muffin tin, and then have it sit in what's French term bain-marie, a double boiler. So it's water, and you would put it in the oven because you could walk away from it. Because we have to think, this is my great-grandmother, so this
Yeah.
is the early 1900s.
Yeah.
They didn't always have it where they could sit and watch. So this way you ensure that it didn't burn. And you're cooking it in water, so the water is surrounding the cups, causing it to rise. And then you can kind of walk away, go back, check on the house, do what you have to do, and come in, and then it was always ready. It was always hot, and very seldom was it burned.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Beautiful.
A way of cooking from the past.
And bringing it forward.
Bringing it forward.
The
Let's
only-
preserve that.
The only thing I did was I put them in a pan because of time and because of space. But we could have used it in the oven in just a regular corn pan. I mean, a regular muffin pan. And you do it that way and have it sit in another pan of water.
Okay.
As that water comes to temperature.
My mouth is watering, and so you've all got to wait. We do as well. Just a few more minutes. The Quality Control Patrol is going to be on standby.
You want to stay with us? We will be right back. And something tells me there's something cooking in the oven too. Yum.
We're finally back, and it's time to dig into Chef Ty Hall's smothered okra, sausage, shrimp, and buttered rice creation. Are you ready, Amy?
Yeah, I was ready the moment I walked into the
Listen.
studio today. It is fantastic.
Ready?
So good.
So good.
Oh my gosh.
That is delicious. Thank you, Chef Ty.
You know you're doing something when you made it and you have to go,
Yeah, that's
oh my
good.
goodness. And try the corn cake. The spice is right. Just enough.
So good. And the corn cake adds a little sweetness to it too.
So it breaks up the little bit of spice. And the spice is only black pepper.
I was gonna say, what makes it, it's got a little kick.
It's just a little bit of black pepper because, again, we're going by what we had available back then and not bringing everything so forward and so modern. So we literally salt, pepper, and paprika.
There you go. But let's show off this bread pudding too.
Oh, you want to see what Santa
Look at what Santa Ty brought for us today.
and the heat? My glasses fall.
Here we go.
Oh
Look
my
at
goodness.
that. That is beautiful. Thank you,
Absolutely
Chef Ty.
gorgeous.
You are welcome.
We're
And
going to
this
dig
is-
into that too.
This
after
is
the
my
break.
this is my present to you guys.
Thank you.
Just to say thank you for all.
What a surprise. I had no idea what was coming out of the
Yes.
oven, but I am so glad you did. Thank you so much. Thank you for
You're
being with us
welcome.
this year. We had such a wonderful time.
Enjoy.
Thank you for being here with us today. We leave you today with a bonus holiday music soundtrack. He's an award-winning singer-songwriter who has hit the stage with Bob Dylan, John Mayer, and others.
Here's Kyle Davis with Do You Hear What I Hear? Enjoy. And we look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow starting at 8:56 a.m. Have a great day.
Said the night wind to the little lamb, we see what I see, way up in the sky, little lamb. Do we see what I see? Star, star, high above the trees, with a face big as a kite, with a tail as big as a kite. Said the shepherd boy to the mighty king, do you know what I know? And in your palace warm, mighty king, do you know what I know? Child, child, shivers in the cold. They will bring him silver and gold. They will bring him silver and gold. Said the king to people everywhere, listen to what I say. Pray for peace and people everywhere. Listen to what I say. Child, a child, sleep.